Hello there, my name is Richard. The first time you see my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so what's up in Scooby-Doo Rhythm. Today we're going to talk about the new Scooby-Doo movie called Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, or sometimes I read it to Scooby-Doo Trick or Treat, whatever you prefer. This movie is sort of surprising because it's one of those, they want to try something very different but also be a little bit true to the original formula, specifically original first run of Scooby-Doo, because this version goes to the same sort of time period but it's trying to take the same animation but make it more kind of modern kind of art style, but at the same time be true, because this is sort of nostalgic but at the same time very good animation. It's one of those like, wow, they have very attention to detail, but the only difference is they put a little bit common sense. I think one of the big examples is sort of the animation of the original is always gloomy because they always in the darkness or always in the night onwards. But this one sort of shows you what it looks like their daytime, afternoon, and night. And that, I think that's one of the things is so special. Now the second thing is the animation. Oh my god, this is probably the most fluent animation of all the other Scooby-Doo movies, because you have movies that just a character moves or reacts, even how their face frowns more like a realistic person. It's sort of surprising how the attention to detail they actually go into. In fact, most of the storytelling is just watching the other side character react to someone, specifically Daphne, how she reacts to Fred or to everyone else. She has sort of like a midnight crisis because in the original Daphne doesn't know what to do because she usually debates in that all she was, and just sort of kind of trying to unravel what she is, what she's her role on this team nowadays. And that's what made her sort of fascinating, because she's sort of figuring it out. They do give a little bit more attention to that. You also have Velma, that she now have a crush of the enemy, that this one she's basically lesbian. Once again, I mean, it's Scooby-Doo. They usually reboot over and over each different movie, so it's not a big deal. Now the second thing is, to make it interesting, is Fred actually has sort of a breakdown similar to Daphne, but Fred got a different kind of point of view, that they saw the main boss who's selling all the costumes, so all the criminals do their own creativity kind of business. But I love it, he finally arrested Coco. Now has that question, what am I gonna do now? There is no major cases. They still have cases, but not like major ones, so minor that they don't need to be there, but they do it because they don't have anything else to do. And Fred is sort of kind of losing it a little bit. Yeah, I found that sort of fascinating because he want a case, he want to solve something that is sort of horror point of view, and that's sort of interesting for a character that is not really that developed in this whole franchise, specifically the original. And I thought that's interesting because each character do have sort of development. Even that Velma, that her development is the same development as couple of times last time, like falling in love with the wrong person. She let her listen once more. This is like the third time, but all of that's interesting because they really want you to remember this special, especially the new villain of this movie called Coco. This is like the first time I actually delve into why all the villains have costume, where they get this, where they use sort of technical machines for something that's kind of ridiculous, but it's just so advanced for them. They're not that smart. How do they get this? How they do it? And this movie explains, is sort of a person who sells sort of costumes on the down low so they can make a profit. Coco, but Coco is one of those villains that it's sort of hard to forget because she's so feminine, more not like kind of like Daphne feminine. It's more like she's sort of like a supermodel meets Edit Mo from Incredibles. You know, that sort of stylist character in Incredibles who make costume for the heroes. She is the same kind of character but Latino. But I love it, it's just so kind of like a model, feminine model. Like she moves, she turns. I mean, every little movie she makes, it's just so much animation put into it, so many details, how she turns her head, move side to side, that sort of curve. Yeah, I love it that she is a woman, so she supposed to have curves, and they don't kind of sexualize it. It's more like, yeah, this is normal, so what? And that's sort of interesting, that like, yeah, that's the whole point, because she's feminine. Yeah, I love about that. And you love it even more, she's not a evil villain type of character. She is more like, well, I'm neutral, I really don't care evil or good, it's just sort of business. She does create costumes for some criminals, but she's not responsible what they do after that. She does this because she loves making costumes. I mean, she is one of those people who are dedicated to making costumes. I think I'm surprised she never become a cosplayer, how dedicated she really is. But I found it fascinating, this whole movie they try to do something more unique, because Coco became sort of the accountable lector of this franchise, that she's knows something's going on, but she's not going to help if they help her to get out of prison. And this is so unique. This is probably the second time they do this. They bring a criminal to their team and figuring out how to capture this new villain, who are basically terrorizing them because they have no idea who this is. Not because they're incompetent, because they're so rusty. The logic of this film is because after they arrested Coco, the team didn't have much to do. They were struggling for a whole year trying to get a good case, and then now it's sort of rusty, so they asked Coco to help them out. But this film does something very unique, is that it sort of throws you off because you don't know who is the villain who using this costume to scare or destroy the life of Scooby-Doo. But I love it is something that you don't expect. And this movie has not one but two red herrings. You don't know who this person is. Every time you think you know, even that is super obvious, had to be that person. No, this one actually had thought into it. It's something that's so surprising, because I feel this was supposed to be something amazing, and they actually, in my opinion, did deliver, but does have some problem because they removed the mystery part of it. They have certain people to look around, look for the clues, that get scared off. They still do that, but not the same way they did. It's one of those that trying to figure out, but they don't know where to go. It's more the conversation of the whole group, what to do. That sort of desperation that they don't have a case anymore, and they're trying to get a new job, and that's usually like at the chunk of the whole film. Just them trying to figure out where to get the next job till they actually find it, but they don't know what to do because they don't have leads, all except for Coco. And that's make this movie so unique. It's just so different how they execute this film. Of course, I'm wondering they try and bring Coco back for a next film or something like that, because it's this character is just so unique and different that I'm wondering, should they trying to make more villains, more unique ones, so you can reuse them over and over again? Honestly, I don't know. It's something I recommend, but I do warn you, like the very beginning is a good start, but it's starting to slow down in the middle, but it picks up again, because once again it's sort of setting up by the twist that you don't realize who was the main villain. And believe me, you think it's the most obvious one, you think it's the only two people you think they actually are, but they don't. They threw you off legitimately. I was surprised. That's the thing, it's just so good. Also, I think one of the biggest twists of this film is the very end, that the prisoners escape and the Scooby-Doo gang, they use their own costumes against them, trying to use the ability of the costume to arrest them, but it's not fully executed. It's good, but they didn't have enough time to show you what this costume could do in this sort of scenario. It's something that I feel they have so much potential, but at the same time the limitation of like an hour and 15 minutes movie doesn't allow them to go that far. Besides that, that's the only two complaints I actually have about this film. The rest is just sort of work. I mean, it's just sort of surprising. This could be the top 5 best film of Scooby-Doo. But once again, that's my opinion. What you think, how you felt about this? You like Coco? You think it's just amazing how good character it is? You wish she'd come back or not? You think she's already overrated? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.